I love this guy. This is Dan Ariely. Yes, some of you know who he is. He's so much fun. So he does great research in the field of behavioral economics, and he's also hilarious. So that's a nice combination. And he's hanging out with these fun robots because he did a study in purpose. He had a student come back to him after he had graduated and said, you know, Dan, I had this really weird situation recently where I'm working for this large firm, and there was this deal that was going to go through, and I worked nights and weekends, I didn't sleep, and I handed in the work product on a Monday, and my boss thought it was I did an incredible job, and I got accolades and was recognized by the company, and then on Tuesday the deal fell through. And he took my work and he put it in a drawer, and it was totally for nothing. And he said, I had this almost overwhelming sense of purposelessness. It was like everything I had done, even though I got paid for the work, I got recognized for the work, I was held up in high esteem in the organization, I felt like crap. And so he said, let's do a study. Let's do a study to see how purpose influences the type of work we do. And so he had some students come in, group A, group B. They were given the same set of, we call them Legos, I can't remember what they're called, robot parts. Yes, and so group A, when they were finished building, their robot was put up in front of them, and they would see the robot as they built their next one and their next one and the next one. The only difference between the two groups is the second group, as you finished a robot, the proctor would take it and dismantle it in front of your face. So you can imagine the group on this side created many, many more robots than the group on this side. They were both being paid, they both had the same incentives otherwise. And so just a testament to how important purpose is. And then the final of the 5 motivation mechanics that we'll cover is progress. So Teresa Amabile is out of Harvard, and she's done a lot of research on progress and how important progress is to employee motivation. When employers are asked what they think is the most motivating thing to employees, they will respond with money, time off, recognition, all of the things we traditionally think of as motivators in the workforce. And she did a study of, I think it was over 4,000 journal entries, and she looked at the journal entries, she analyzed them, and she came back with the one theme that they all overwhelmingly shared was that people were motivated when they could understand that they were making progress, when big tasks were broken down into small achievable goals and they could see where they were on their path to success. And the most demotivating thing was lack of transparency and not understanding what their progress was. So just food for thought as you, I love my little LinkedIn progress bar, we're all familiar with that, I'm sure. I think I'm perpetually at 90%, like Teresa here. So the rest of this conversation is going to be based on a lot of this thinking, and I just wanted to show you a few of the books that talk about this because they're all over the place. So if you like this, there's a plethora of extra reading you can do. Made to Stick is great, and yeah, definitely pick up a few of these books. The difference between what we just talked about and games is that games takes those concepts, which all are, when I described all of those things, did anyone think any of that was silly or didn't make sense or was frivolous? It's all kind of intuitive, right? Those are the things that games do. The difference is games are positioned as play and they're positioned as frivolity. And so I think that's where a lot of this word, gamification, that's where it gets a lot of its negative stigma or its sense of frivolity. But I want to make a very clear distinction at the front end here between games, which are an explicit start. I push a button and I'm starting to play. And I'm moving into a mode that is very different from my daily world. I'm explicitly intending to start a relaxing or a diversionary activity, right? I'm earning points. I'm probably moving up in levels. I probably can see my status on a leaderboard. I'm earning badges and trophies to show my progress as I go along, progress bars as well. All of those things are inherently game elements. And the difference is that the game wouldn't exist unless the game existed. When we talk about gamification, we're talking about taking all of the things that make the game and applying them to something that already exists. So the thing itself, your airline, would still exist whether or not you were earning miles. The miles are applied on top of that existing experience to encourage you to do more of it. And so that's exactly what gamification is. It's taking those points, levels, leaderboards, and adding them to an experience that exists, and then there's no explicit start. I find myself in the experience, and as a result of my activity, I'm earning points. I'm being recognized. I'm getting real-time feedback. This is a screenshot of our Salesforce implementation. Do any of you guys use Salesforce at your job? A few of you. So CRM system in the cloud. The sales rep would go in and create a lead, convert the lead to an opportunity, try to close the opportunity to make a sale, and it's keeping track of all the different things a sales rep does. I'm going to show you an example of this in a little bit. But Salesforce exists. All we've done is taken this idea of real-time feedback, of progress, of mastery, of relatedness, and added these elements to it. And you can see on the sidebar here, there's a progress bar, there's my level, there's my next step, the next thing I need to do in my daily life within the tool, et cetera, et cetera. So I just wanted to make that point there. That's a good example of an enterprise gamification experience. This is Craft Canada. They did a first taste. It's a recipe site, and they gamified it. So they were trying to figure out how do you take this group of moms and jumpstart a community where one didn't exist before. So they have tons of recipe content, and they're trying to get moms to interact more. So you can see the same components. Here's my profile, mini profile of my points. I have a level, I have badges and trophies I can earn, very clear calls to action for what I need to do next. And all of this is the same core components that we're talking about on the enterprise side, but in a consumer application.